Alright, here we have the Demko AD-15. This was loaned to me by Josh Burkhead. I really appreciate him letting me do edge retention testing on this knife. He wants to know as much as I do what it's capable of. For the first two tests I did, I've run this twice so far. There is one difference between this test and the other tests I've done. And this is at 19 degrees per side. That's how it came. Josh had sharpened it one time. So I tested the second sharpening and the third sharpening. It is still it is 1500 grit. Strop the same way. And I did ask Josh if I could drop the secondary bevel on this, and he said that's fine. However, I'm not positive what I'm going to drop it to. You can see it's not very wide right now. Currently, this is between 18 and 19 thousandths behind the edge at 19 degrees per side. I'm not going to make a big ridiculous bevel on Josh's expensive knife, but I am going to drop it at least a couple degrees and run the test again. So take note when we're covering the results for this that this is 19 degrees per side, and if we drop that secondary bevel, we will gain some edge retention. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get to cutting right now, and then we'll find out what it did. Fine edge till it doesn't shave hair, a working edge until it won't cleanly slice a piece of paper. We'll come back and talk about how it did. Let's go cut with it. All right, now that we cut with it, let's go ahead and get to the results. Like I said in the beginning, keep in mind this is at 19 degrees per side. And why is that important to note? It's at 19 degrees per side because that's how it came. At the time, I didn't know if Josh would allow me to drop the secondary bevel. And I was also curious to see how it did. Now, with the results, why 19 degrees per side is important is because of the performance that this gave at that particular secondary bevel. So for the first test on what was the second sharpening, for fine edge, it cut 132.6 feet. On the third sharpening, which was the second time I tested it, it cut 148 feet. That's an 11% difference. I am going to retest this, like I said, however, it will be with the secondary bevel dropped. Now, this is where the 19 degrees per side comes in. Almost everything I test, unless I note otherwise, is at 15 degrees per side. I'll compare it to some that I have already tested. The ZT0470 20 CV was at 15 degrees per side, and it cut less fine edge than this S35VN did. Also, the Kershaw dividend in M390, 15 degrees per side, also cut less than this Andrew Demko S35. There are benefits to small batch knife making, and that is that you get a much better heat treat. You can control the temperatures much better. You can control the process much better. For working edge, on the second sharpening, this cut 158.6 feet. For the second test, which was the third sharpening, this cut 172 feet. Once again, this is performing at 19 degrees per side at the same or better level than most of the M390 20CV 204P that I have already tested. That's part of what your extra money is going to when you buy something like this. How does it compare to the cold steel production version? I can't say. I don't have one to test. I do have some cold steel S35 that I will be testing. I had a loaner come in on Monday, so we will find out what it does, and it will give an idea of how it compares to this S35. I will be dropping the edge bevel down, like I said. I'm going to go ahead and run it 2 more times after that. One to get my number, and the second time to validate the testing. Can't wait to see what this has to offer. So far, this thing's performing awesome. If you have one, you have a good knife. If you're looking to get one, no worries that it's S35. There's nothing wrong with S35VN to begin with. Awesome knife, performed really well at 19 degrees per side. Gonna test it some more and find out what it'll do. That's all I have for this. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.